Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the new Escapement Time model number H0149. So I received a slight discount on this watch from the Escapement Time official store on AliExpress. I don't have to send the watch back, and the slight discount isn't going to sway my review one way or the other. And as always, if you are interested in this watch, I'll be leaving an affiliate link down below in the description. Go check that one out. That'll take you right to the official store. I'm also going to list the 2 sub-dial version of this watch. They're basically the same thing except just a different dial layout and a date window at 6 o'clock. So you can kind of apply this review to that one as well. So the current retail price for this watch is about $81 US, and that's before any tax or sales or coupons. Escapement Time is one of the few brands on AliExpress that don't really participate in the sales. So there's no better time than now than to purchase this thing. You know, waiting for a sale, it might save you $1. Yeah, just go and get it right now if you like it. This watch is currently available in the configuration that you see here, and that's it. No different colors, no different strap options. It's just this one. Like I mentioned, they sell a very similar watch to this. I believe it is the same exact case. It's the same movement. It just has another sub-dial register over here. So that's just something to keep in mind. That one also does have a date at 6 o'clock. So if you don't like this kind of offset style, they do have that as an option as well. And yeah, I think you're going to be happy with either one of them. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal, a push-pull crown, a screw-down case back, 50 meters of claimed water resistance, and it's powered by the Miyota 6S21 quartz chronograph movement. So I figured it was about time to get one of these quartz chronographs on the channel from Escapement Time. I've had pretty much every other Escapement Time watch that's ever been out on this channel. So when I saw this new one pop up, I just kind of had to grab it, and I'm really glad I did. I like it. I think you guys will too. It's got to be one of, if not the best Flieger chronographs on AliExpress for the price. Yeah, it's good. So I say we get into the full review. Before I do, wearing my Suggest Batman, which just came in, actually using this, timing my colleagues over in Germany. So yeah, getting some use out of the GMT bezel. But yeah, this one's coming up on the channel pretty soon, so stay tuned. All right, let's check the dimensions on this. A diameter of 40.2 millimeters, thickness of 11.3, 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 49.3 millimeters, and on the supplied leather strap, it weighs about 68 grams. So it's a really nice set of dimensions, 40 millimeters by 49. It's a little long on the lug to lug, but you do have pretty decent curvature to those lugs. So I think it hugs the wrist pretty nicely. And I mean, it's lightweight. It's supposed to be a little big because it is a Flieger. They're supposed to be big and legible, which it is. So it's exactly what I wanted without being too overly big. And yeah, I think they did a really good job on it. I like the way it wears. It's nice. It's comfortable. I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist, and as you can see, I think it wears pretty good. I mean, it's a pilot's watch, so they're supposed to be a little bit big, ultra legible, as you can see there. Yeah, I've got no real complaints with the way this thing wears. You got nice turn down to those lugs as well, so I think it works pretty good. And you can see a little bit of sunburst there. We'll get out in some direct sunlight here in just a second, but yeah, I do really like it. Nice brushing on the case, which we'll talk about as well. And yeah, I think it looks really good. And here we are in some direct sunlight, and there you can see that nice sunburst. It's a pretty subtle sunburst. You don't really notice it unless you're out in some bright lights like this. So yeah, it's nice looking though. I do like it a lot, and you can see there it's still plenty legible. I've got no problems with the legibility on this thing, and I think it looks really good. The strap I think also looks pretty good, and you can see there it is a dark brown. It's not a black strap, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. All right, let's go inside, throw in some straps on it, and we'll get back to this review. And here we are on a vario leather strap. Hopefully this wind isn't too bad for you. But yeah, looks really good. I do like that color combo a lot. And here we are on an olive drab canvas strap from Riche. And again, I think it looks really good. It's a black and white watch. It's going to look good with any strap, I think. So yeah, I always feel like these olive drab ones look great on a black dial watch. This is no exception, and yeah, it looks good. What do you guys think about that? And here we are on a gray elastic strap. You got one layer underneath the watch there, and it still wears very nice. These combos are excellent, super comfortable. I love them. And lastly, here we are on a nylon strap, ribbed, 2 layers underneath the watch there, and I think it wears great. Again, no surprise that this looks good in my opinion. 2 layers underneath it, and it still wears perfectly fine. But yeah, it looks good. All right, let's go back inside and we'll get back to this review. Okay, so let's talk about the case finishing on this thing. And the case finishing, just like pretty much every other Escapement time watch, it's really good for the price. Very happy with it. You have a circular brushing on the bezel itself, as you can see there. Really nice fine brushing, nice and linear, even all the way around. I think it looks good. You have a circular brushing on the tops of the lugs as well. Again, really nicely done. Flipping it to the crown side here, you can see you have a horizontal brushing across the lugs all the way. And again, really nicely done, nice and even. I've got no problems with it. You have little circular brushings on the end of these pushers here. The pushers themselves, they're also circular brushed, they're not polished. And then you have that onion style crown, which looks really cool. Lots of fine grip on it, not signed or anything like that. It's kind of got almost an indent on the end of it. But yeah, I think it all looks really nice. I have no problems with it. I think the transitions are nicely done, nice and crisp, and yeah, I mean, it looks good. I've got no problems with it, and like I said, that turn down to those lugs, it's really nice. Very happy with that. Flipping it to the case back here, you have a simple screw down case back, simple notches to get a tool in there if you ever need to swap the battery on this thing. Typical spec sheet around the outside, stainless steel, sapphire, waterproof, made in China, Pilot's quartz, and Escapement time, and then you got this really cool Pilot airplane logo here. It's all really nicely done, kind of a bead blasted background here with the circular brushing of the case back. I think it all looks good. Circular brushing on the bottom of the lugs as well, and everything is rounded off nicely. I've got no problems with this thing as far as comfort goes, and I think the case back in general and the case itself are all done really good, especially for that $82 price range. All right, let's talk about the crystal on this thing. So first things first, we will test it for sapphire. And it is positive for sapphire. So that's no surprise there. I knew it was sapphire. It's a very simple piece of sapphire crystal, dead flat, no anti-reflective coating. You can see it's got a little bit of a chamfer there, and it sits ever so slightly proud of the bezel. Yeah, it's a decent crystal. There are times where the non-anti-reflective coating hinders the legibility a little bit, but I mean the numerals on this thing, it's a black background with white numerals, white hands. Legibility is really not an issue with this thing, but I definitely feel like it could use some AR coating on it. I think that would just kind of bring it up one more notch. But I mean, at this price point, not having AR coating is really not a big deal, especially since this is just flat. If it was a domed piece, that would be a little bit different, but just being a flat piece of sapphire, I don't think it really needs the AR coating. All right, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. And the dial is really nicely done. It is a sunburst black. It's very subtle. I don't think I can show it in my studio lights here, but you can definitely see it in my wrist shot, so go check that out if you skip those. But yeah, pretty happy with the way this dial looks. Most of the time, it just looks like a flat black, but it does have a little bit of texture to it, as you can see kind of by that 4 and 5 o'clock there. But a very subtle sunburst effect. I think it looks really good. It gives a little bit more interest to the dial. Everything in white here, except for the subdial printing here, is lumed. So the white on the hands, the white on the central seconds hand, that is also fully lumed. The white hand on the chronograph minute counter there, that is also lumed. I really wish they would have lumed these subdial numbers. I don't know why they didn't do it. They definitely could have, and I think they should have, just because it would make it more usable at night. Right now, it's just kind of a party trick that the seconds hand all line up. But the lume is actually pretty good on this. We'll get to the lume in just a little bit. The printing, really nice and crisp. I've got no issues with it. There's no branding on the dial. I'm happy with that. I think it looks really good. You have a fully white central seconds hand there, so that is for your chronograph. You don't have a running chronograph hand on this, so yeah, just keep that in mind. I know some people like to see some sort of movement on the dial. I don't mind it at all. The alignment on it, right about there, it's spot on. So really happy with the alignment on this thing. The handset that they used, really nicely sized. I kind of wish they would just use white hands. They went with the blued. I definitely don't know. They don't look heat treated blue to me. They look like painted blue, but I'm not really an expert. I'm not really sure if there is a way to tell. They look fine. Most of the time they just look black. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. I kind of wish they would have just painted them white, just kind of, make everything stand out as much as possible. But I don't think they look bad. They do reach right out to that minute track. Same with the seconds hand. Hour hand is nice and big and bold. I've got no problems reading this thing daytime or nighttime. So I'm going to pop up the Lume shot right now. And here you can see it against a few other watches in the collection, kind of in the same style of watch. Pilot's watches. The Pagani on the right hand fades pretty quickly. But the three on the left, they really hold strong. And this escapement time, one of the more impressive escapement times as far as the Lume goes. They've always had pretty good Lume. This one is just a little bit better than my previous ones. So it's nice to see that they're kind of stepping up their Lume game. I'm happy with the Lume. It lasts all night long. I've got no problems with it. So the movement is the Citizen Miyota 6S21 quartz chronograph. It is a 3-year battery life. The movement itself is a 2-register chronograph with a date complication. Obviously, they've hidden some of those for this specific watch. So if you want all of the functions of the 6S21, you're going to have to go with the 2-register chronograph, which is linked down below. The register on the right is a running seconds hand. So if that's important to you, you're going to have to go with that other one. But this one here, it's just a single register that they're using. And I think it's the offset look kind of works for me. So we're going to talk about the functionality of the watch first. The watch is operated by this 3 o'clock crown and these 2 pushers here. So you pull the crown out to the first position. This is your ghost date. I don't hear anything working back there, so I think he removed the date complication. You pull it out to the second position here. This would hack the movement, and this is where you set your time, and everything feels nice and smooth, just as you would expect it to. When you push in the crown, you don't get a jump of the hands or anything like that. So to operate the chronograph on it, you push this top button here. Nice solid click to it. Very happy with that. It's not mushy or anything like that. Then you have a 4 ticks per second chronograph second hand there, so that is sweeping along nicely. Yeah, no problems with that. The subdial over here, it's broken up into 2-minute increments. So each one of those dashes is 2 minutes. So at the end of 1 minute, it'll be in between there. And it's just kind of one of those gradual sweeps around. It doesn't snap to the next minute like I've seen some of them do. So not a huge issue, just something I thought I would point out to you guys. To stop the chronograph, you press this top button again. Again, nice and clicky. And to reset, you click this down here. So when you do reset it, this hand over here, it snaps right back into place. As you saw, the central seconds hand there, it kind of does a sweep all the way around the dial. And for some reason, if you find that the second hand isn't aligned perfectly, you can actually adjust it, which is nice to see. So to do that, you pull this out to the time setting position, and you can press the top button pusher here, and you can move it in one little click there. So that's nice that this option has that. The Seiko VK series movements, they don't have that option. So pretty cool that they allow this. To speed it up here, you can just press and hold it, and you'll see it sweep around. So it is nice that they offer this fine adjustment. Every once in a while you might find that it's just a little bit off. So yeah, it's nice that you can adjust it. And then after a battery change, apparently you might have to do that as well. So just keep that in mind. Really simple to do. Very happy with the movement. Accuracy is plus or minus 20 seconds per month. Like I said, it is a 3-year battery. And yeah, I've got no real problems with the movement. It's pretty good. It's a nice alternative to the Seiko VK63, VK64 movements. So yeah, something a little bit different, but I'm happy with it. All right, so let's talk about the strap on this thing. So the strap, it's a leather strap. It's brown. It's really dark brown. I thought it was black at first, but it's definitely a dark brown. It has this cream color stitching. I think it looks pretty good. Maybe white stitching would look a little bit better, but yeah, I think I like it. I like the look of it. I like the texture on it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it overall. It is 20 millimeters. It tapers down to 18 millimeters at the buckle. You got 2 keepers here. One is floating, one is stationary. I've seen this buckle used on escapement time watches in the past. It's fine. I've got no problems with it. It's a mixture of brushed and polished here. A little soft on those transitions, but not a huge deal. It's a nice buckle. It's not anything super fancy, but It functions perfect. It's not oversized or anything like that. I like it. Flipping it over, you have this kind of bright orange color. Every once in a while when you've got it, tucked through, you can see this part of the strap. I'm not a big fan of that. I wish they would just go with the brown, but it is what it is, and it's not a huge deal. The nice thing about this is you do have quick release spring bars, so that's nice to see, unbranded otherwise, and it's actually a pretty decent strap right out of the box. It kind of conformed right to my wrist. It's nice and soft. It smells like leather. You can see here for my 7.5 inch wrist, I'm kind of right at this hole here. So it's not going to fit much smaller of a wrist, maybe another inch smaller. So 6.5 inch wrist, but then it'll probably go up to like 8.5 inches. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But again, quick release spring bar. So if you need to swap straps on it, really easy to do. And you guys saw that this thing is a strap monster. It's going to look good on any strap. So yeah, overall, I am pretty happy with the strap. It's not one I'm going to throw in the trash. So yeah, happy to see that Escapement Time is putting on a decent strap for this thing, especially for the $80 price point. I mean, this is a pretty good strap for that price. So there you go, guys. That is the Escapement Time H0149. It's a pretty cool looking chronograph. $81, hard to beat. I think if you guys like it, now is the time to buy it because they don't really go on sale. Yeah, they're great. Very happy with it. Legibility is just top notch. Maybe some AR coating on that and charge an extra 10, $5 or $10. I think that would make some people happy. Maybe ditch those blue hands. I know most people love them. I just don't like it on this particular model. But that's just me. They don't look bad. They don't look bad at all. I just think, simple white hands or even black hands would maybe look a little bit better. Other than that, though, you're getting nice solid case finishing, a good looking case, nice strap, sapphire crystal, reliable movement. Yeah, I think you guys are going to like it. I think that's all for me, though. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.